be young at heart, but we're still dreaming, eyes wide open. We'll leave this place behind.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we left off the last two episodes where we launched out of Donald here at our flying site. We started to climb Blackwater Ridge and we had a great flyby by a friend of mine in his 212 helicopter, and we were on comms, so we were talking to each other. Then after crossing over Blackwater Ridge, we dropped down to our left into the Kimbasket Reservoir, and we put her down on the deck and played our way over toward Kimbasket Lake, or the Big Lake Resort. Had a lot of fun chasing Troy along this old ancient road that's in the lake bottom from the time before the lake was there. Then we went to Kimbasket Lake Resort, where I did a few buzzes, Troy and I, over top of the lodge that's not occupied at this time of year, and the old bridge that spans the Beaver River. Then we put her back on the deck for a ways and started our way west and played a little bit along the river and creeks and on the ice. And that was a good time. I really enjoy that low flying business. Then we put our sights on Esplanade Bay, which is way in the background, like a long ways back there. One mistake I made on the video was I said it was 80 miles. It was 60 miles, and I apologize for that after I checked my numbers. So we were making our way along the north side of the valley here, and Esplanade Bay is right in front of my cockpit. Now there's a little community of travel trailers and little cabins out there, and this is where we kind of left off the journey, and we're going to continue now over the ridge to the right and follow the Big Bend Highway back to Donald. And as I'm flying over top of the campsite here, you'll see a bright blue roof, and that's my roof over top of my travel trailer. Alright guys, so we're leaving Esplanade Bay, and I'm just doing a bit of a climb out before I cross over top of this hill. Trying to leave myself a little bit of altitude. Troy crossed a little bit lower. As you can see, there's not many landing field options, so a sense of false security there by climbing up and giving myself a little bit more room. I mean, inevitably, I can't. Well, from here I could probably glide back out to the lake, but going forward, yeah, there's no gliding out to anything, man. She's like solid friggin' trees. But, you know, there's the odd swampy thing on the left there, a little bit left of my foot. A few little wide spots, some thinner trees and spots. So at the end of the day, if you have to put her down, you put her down. And yeah, just carry on with the day. So that's the road, still snow covered. Leading into where we have our travel trailer park, cabin park thing down in there. And yeah, so from here we're going to cut across to the Big Bend Highway, which is almost in view up ahead. Right by my left foot, my toe is where it is, and you can see Troy off in the distance there. He got a bit of a jump on me for heading home. So yeah, we're going to follow the Big Bend Highway there, and as we'll find out shortly here, and I don't know how good the video is going to show it up or not, but I found when I first flew through this valley a few years ago, there's a few spots in there where the air gets really choppy. You know how an ocean will get sometimes in an area, and I believe it's when the tide's going out or coming in, you might be in a strait or something, but the water gets that really unsettled. It's just choppy. It's all over the place, and that's what the air really felt like in a few spots here on the way back. Just on the note of cameras here, Troy's camera died at Esplanade Bay, so basically I'm down to 2 cameras, and they're both on my rig. So that was a shitty ass camera that Troy was flying with anyways, so the hell with his footage until he gets his GoPro 7 figured out. So keep an eye out here, guys, coming up now. In just a little bit here, you're going to see the first section of choppy air, and I think it shows up fairly well. We were both flying on the just into the end of normal flight mode. So right at the beginning of reflex mode is where we had our gliders set at this point. So not booting along really fast. Now, I'd never really experimented a whole ton in full reflex mode on really rough air, but I do up ahead. And I can tell you this, I'm still getting used to it and getting used to seeing a bunch of loose lines and only 2 rows of tight lines at the front. But man, she's rock solid in the bumps. I can tell you that in full reflex mode. Yeah, we were. And so at this point, guys, I was deciding that I think I would go to full throttle and see if I could climb out above the rough air. I wasn't sure if it was thermals booting off out of these trees. I mean, it was warming up out for sure. It was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at this time. But climbing out didn't really help. I just flew all the way through it from what I remember, and then it was pretty good for a ways, and then we had another rough section up ahead. Don't know how Troy was making out down there, but from what he told me after, it was pretty rough down there too, so. So now at this stage, you heard me say I told Troy I'm going out to the lake. And that's when I realized that either his radio was dead or he had some other kind of an issue with it. And because I didn't get a response. And I was kind of like, let's fly across and go out to the lake and get on the deck and we'll just fly back that way. But he couldn't hear me. I wasn't going to abandon him and head out to the lake, obviously, for obvious reasons. So I just knuckled down and said, well, okay, we'll keep going this way then. And I found out later why Troy couldn't hear me is he actually lost his antenna off of his radio. Not sure how he did that, but he managed to pull it off. So but you can see here now, guys, the air has smoothed out. It definitely got a bit better. So I'm not 100% sure if I just climbed above it or what the scoop was. But there wasn't a strong prevailing wind either. This was just weird air. And because even when we got back to Donald, there wasn't a whole bunch of wind or anything. This was just pockets of really rough air.
Currently above the Blackwater Lakes, southbound from Donald, and we're cruising right around 4,500 feet and 13500. Wow, man, my legs are froze. I should have worn my long johns. Woohoo! Look at these mountains, guys. Flying in the Rockies. Flying in the Rockies, man. On a friggin' pillow sack. Woo! Crazy flight. Friggin' awesome. If it starts getting bumpy down here, then I'm gonna climb back up. Get away from that hillside now. It's getting pretty rough. Blackwater Lakes, boys. Catch nice little trout out of there. Along the old Big Bend Highway.
So just a quick tidbit for you guys. See the trees right below me, how they're bigger, and the ones off to the left are smaller? It's like that way for about a kilometer behind me. This entire valley burned in around, I believe it was in around 1980, and it's called the Sioux Fire. It burned for a whole summer, and anyone that was able to work the fire, they were pulled out of bars and everything else in Golden to come and work this fire. If you were on EI or if you were not working, you were grabbed and taken out to fight this fire. Burned all summer, and then after the winter there were so many hot spots that it flashed up again, but it burned right to the top of the mountains on the left and right to the top of the hills on the right. Burned the entire valley out, tens of thousands of hectares. There was a fire tower up on the ridge ahead of us on the right. It burned right up to that as well. But the whole valley was replanted again by hand, and it's not quite merchantable timber yet, but it's getting close. A few more years and this valley will be ripe for harvest again.
Whoa! Maybe he's landing. That would be funny. Hell, maybe he is landing. That's right, yeah. So, on the ground here, so you guys have a great rest of the day, hey? Okay, guys. All right, guys. We got all the helicopters all sorted out here. I don't even know what way the wind's going, and I don't really care. I'm just gonna stick her on the ground. Woohoo! Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's thermic. She's thermic. And how about that, guys? Right by the trailer. Woo! Woohoo! Oh, buddy. How sweet was that? That was a really cool day. Guys, what the hell? Total epicness. All right, Troy. Where is he landing? Nice. Woohoo! Hella, hella.
I was shaking since Kin Basket.
Oh, dude, my legs are frozen.
I don't know if I've been that cold, but
Awesome,
that was
awesome. Hey, dude, that air was shit back there.
Yeah, right where you said it would be crappy.
Oh, fuck, man. So I climbed up, it got a little bit better. But when I was coming back, I threw it on full reflex and I just put my hands in my... But guys, honestly, these things, I wouldn't do that flight with anything else but these. The Black Hawk I would too, because it has a good engine, the Swiss Auto engine. These things are friggin' unreal. You'll see, and you've seen or I don't even know where I'm putting this in. I'm still so pumped right now. This was such a crazy flight. But 2.5 hours in the air, and heli traffic coming out the yin yang. And yeah, we were in contact with them the whole time. Troy, his radio, his antenna fell off of his radio. So guys, epic day. I don't even know. This is a big country to fly in, boys, and more adventures to come. So everybody take care. We'll catch you in the next one.